Ariwa Joint Committee are engaging the presidential candidates that are vying for office in 2023, trying to x-ray their agenda so that Nigerians will know what they are electing. And seeing that, coming to see that 2023 election is coming, I think committees like that are very important, so that they will bring all these candidates and then ask them critical questions, and then we hear their response. And then so far so good. Some of the presidential candidates, were present, for them to answer questions, and they have responses, based on questions that have been asked. Like yesterday, we talked about one of the response that Atiku Abubakar, responded in one of the questions that they asked him, that why is he vying for that office, and what did he think that he got to offer that he's canvassing for Northerners, to vote him. And then that response really brought a controversy, that people are saying he is taking the issue like off guard, not really discussing matters, and then he's promoting ethnicity and then regionalism. So, and then it didn't go well with some. But still yet, some others, joined him, like Tinubu and Peter Obi, in order for them to say what they have to offer for Nigerians. And then we will continue from there, and then we'll see what they say and then how their response were. Thank you for joining us. This is Nigeria Now, and then I have Joyce Jakada with me.
Good afternoon, Sambo Solomon, and a pleasant afternoon to our viewers out there. It is always a privilege for me to be on this platform because, Solo, we don't have any country apart from Nigeria, and because we know that change, a better Nigeria is possible, and that is why we're always on this platform to talk about issues, and not just talk about issues, but to also provide solutions.
Yes, this candidates in Abuja assured, to answer questions from those elders of the North in order to know what exactly they have to offer. Quickly, let me quote this from Peter Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate. Nigeria is not bereft of ideas, but institutional weakness and lack of political will to effect genuine change that will better lives of average Nigerians, he said, adding that he is committed to unlocking the greatness of the country and lifting it from the consuming country to producing country. And he said, insecurity will be thing of the past when he gets elected as president through the creation of employment opportunity for youth who are tools used to perpetrate social vices. That's his belief.
Well, I won't agree less with him. And, when even the Bible talk about the fact that an idle man is the devil's workshop. And as a nation, it's going to be important if we look towards production rather than just consumption. Like when you even go to the international market, the only thing that we have, like, we so much focus our attention on is crude oil. But Nigeria is blessed with vast natural resources. Like we have vast lands. And one of his emphasis is in the north. And we have vast land that we can take advantage of agricultural activities. And when we do that, at the end of the day, you see that beyond consumption, we'll begin to produce. And when we produce, it won't even end in our own country. We can even take it outside. And then attention, before the discovery of crude oil, we were into agricultural production. And I think,
and we were doing well.
Yes, and we're doing very well. And I think it's not out of place for him to say that we should move from just consumption to production and to engage young people. I think it's going to reduce the rate of crime and people involving in criminality at large. Okay,
presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, the Turakin Adama, has this to say, and I quote, he said, the policy priority of the development agenda is to double the size of Nigerian economy and achieve a GDP of approximately 900 billion US dollars by 2030. He said this will raise Nigerians' GDP per capita from the current level of approximately 2,000 US dollars to 5,000 US dollars, with additional significant impact on job and poverty.
So, Lo, if you ask me, that's applaudable. Like, this is beautiful to hear. But far beyond paper, far beyond us coming up in forums like that to say such things, I think it's important that we follow up on that. And when you look at all the presidential candidates, almost everybody pointed to the fact that our economy needs to be focused on, like, we need to focus on our economy in terms of job creation. And then when we do that, of course, we're going to be benefiting as a nation. And some of these sectors that are suffering are also going to be gaining. So it is applaudable, but far beyond written document, like I would say, actions are important.
And Bola Ahmed Tinubu has this to say, who is the presidential candidate of the APC. He said our economy plan would utilize the vast natural resources we have through strategic investment in infrastructure, which will lead to the diversification of the economy and wealth creation across the entire country. We will pay attention to modern economy drivers such as the digital economy, creative industries, and sports and investment sector for the benefit of our young people. I think now he's targeting young people now with the issue of sport and entertainment, because I can see it.
You know, like I said earlier on, I commend all the presidential candidates that so far appeared before the Arewa Joint Committee. And, you know, like you said, it was an avenue for the northern people to x-ray the policies of these presidential candidates. And it took place in Kaduna. It started on Saturday, and we saw how the People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate appeared, and he spoke about all these his policies, what he hoped to achieve, even though he made a statement at the end of the day that's almost ruined all the good agendas that he has, by saying that the northerners should vote for a northerner, not an Igbo or Yoruba candidates, which so many people have come out to say is him playing on ethnic card. And Nigeria is a multi-ethnic nation, and for somebody that will want to appeal for the vote of people that are from diverse ethnic group, it is so uncalled for. Like we said yesterday, it is unbecoming of him. Like, you shouldn't use ethnic ground to appeal for votes. And even though some people are saying that he's misquoted, we're looking forward to a statement from the spokesperson to defend that. But to say that Nigeria is a multi-ethnic nation, you shouldn't say that. Atiku claims to be a unifier, but so far what we have been seeing, I don't think is symbolic of that unifier that he said. If you go to a particular section of the nation and you tell them that they do not need an Igbo or Yoruba, it's discriminatory, if you ask me. So it is important that if we go out for campaign, if presidential candidate, not just presidential, this is an eye-opener for other people vying for other positions, that they shouldn't base their campaign or appeal for votes on the basis of ethnic or religious grounds. Nigeria has suffered a lot in terms of this divide. So bringing up ethnic basis, it will only further divide us. It is important that we bring about issues. We have the issue of insecurity. What do you hope to do about it? Unemployment, what do you hope to do about it? What about the poverty rate? We are like ahead of China and even India. These people have population that is more than Nigeria. What do you hope to do about it? Like, this is a candidate from a political party that already are having crisis, Solomon. Like, have you been able to even unify your party? People will ask such questions. And if we go about making statements like that, it will further discourage people. Even your followers will begin to withdraw. It's the same person that in May made a statement, just tweeted about the killing of Deborah. And immediately when he was attacked by some people from the north, he deleted the statement. So what are you trying to tell people? So I think that our political leaders, even as they age, they should be circumspect. They should be discreet with their speeches. Let's begin to see people talking based on issues. These presidential candidates have gone ahead to sign peace accord. So what all these things that they are saying, is it in tandem with the peace accord they signed? Because if we go ahead making statement like that, it will just further divide the nation, and we might be asking for what we don't know how it's going to turn out to be. So it's important that we do our campaigns on issue based. Like I said, all these things that we see them talking about, they are good, like very applaudable. In fact, Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC spoke about restructuring and even state policing. But a lot of Nigerians will want to ask the question, restructuring in what basis? Because restructuring means different thing to different people.
Yes.
So we need him to come out and clear that. I recall that it was on same platform that he was also asked what was he going to do about climate change, and he spoke about preventing church rat from participating in the poison Holy Communion. If that is a metaphor, I think he should come out and clear it. In a time where we are faced with flooding, and then one of the attributes is the climate change. If you're coming to use that kind of statement, like I said, if it is a metaphor, then he should come out and clear the air. And for Peter Obi, we saw how he talked about also empowering the young people, because he said that if they are being empowered, then the rate of crime is going to be out of place. All these people have antecedents. They were one time this, one time that. We have Bola Ahmed Tinubu as former governor. We have Peter Obi as former governor. And Atiku was one time vice president of this nation. Let's go back to their pedigrees. Let's go back to their antecedents. What have they been able to do? If you are saying that the North should vote for a northerner, being a northerner, what were you able to do with them? What about the kidnapping that is taking place in that place? Like, we're talking about a region that has the highest IDPs in Nigeria. We're talking about a region that has the highest out of school children in the world. What have you been able to do about it? He made promise to even the Kaduna people about fighting insecurity and all of that. Can we see people not even waiting for when they are elected, before the election? What have you been able to do that will make people, without struggling, queue behind you to vote you? I spoke about former President Lula of Brazil yesterday.
Yeah.
He brought out 30 million people out of poverty. So no, he would not even need to go and plead with these people to say you need somebody that will bring you out of poverty. For the fact that he brought them, they will queue behind him and they will vote him. Let's see that people will support you for what you have done for them, like in your past. Far beyond waiting, oh, I have an idea, but I won't do anything till you elect me. Do something so that on that basis, people will vote you.
I agree with you strongly, Joyce, because this time that we are now, it is not time for people to play politics or people to hire people to write speeches for them that they would just come out eloquently and then read those speeches. That when it comes to implementation, they don't even know how to start, how to go about it, because in the beginning, you know, it's not even their idea. Somebody just said, okay, I think of this for you, and I think when you say this, you just buy the conscience of people, you know, because you know we have people that are good, you know, in doing that. You know, people hire them to work with psyche of people. So they try to understand what people want to hear. So you find out politicians telling people what they feel people want to hear at that moment, not really what they want to do. But I think, you know, with the situation that we are now, you know, the issue of insecurity in this country, the issue of inflation, when you talk about the economy, it is really biting so hard that you don't need a teacher, you know, from anywhere to come and start teaching you and tell you this is how, you know, the economy is, or this is how it's biting, or this is how it's going well. At least, you know, if you want to know whether it's going well, you look at your pot of soup and then analyze what is there. And then if you really want to know how bad it is, you think about how many times you have eaten, or what you can be able to afford. These are simple parameters that you don't need an angel to come or an expert to come and tell you this is what is happening. So what we are trying to say, yes, we are not talking about APC, that is the present government, but we are saying all politicians from all the parties. We are not even saying a particular party is the savior, because a particular party projected herself as the savior. And I assure you, Nigerians will testify to that, that's why some people are even saying, just bring back our good law. You get it. It's a kind of funny. You understand? Yes, we know during that regime they had their own challenges. They had their own systematic corruption that was going then, and that we think the government projected that when they come, this is the first thing that they would do, and people feel, yes, it is worth it. At least let them end this one, so that we will see how Nigeria will take shape. But what are we seeing today? It's something different. So now political parties, are coming, parading different kind of people. This is time that we have to go back, Joyce, and then look at their pedigrees. If they were once in office, or they are freshers, then you look at them. When you come to issue of giving back to community, if you are not once in government, what have you done? You talk about the highest number of out-of-school children, that the percentage is in the north. And you are coming from the north, and you're saying this is what you want the north to vote you, because this is what you think. But as an individual, what have you done? The issue of insecurity, we haven't seen you coming out outrightly to condemn and speak about this thing back to back. Because even if you are not a leader, let's say now, having an office, but you are an icon. You are icon, because so many people are looking at you. Are a stakeholder in Nigeria. You can't talk and then government would not shake. So whatever that is going wrong, forget about your party. As a stakeholder, a Nigerian stakeholder, you can say this thing is going wrong. You feel the country should check. If even people will say, yes, you are coming from the angle of a party, thinking you want to criticize, but a right thinking person will match what you are saying and the present situation, and see whether you are saying the truth or you are just playing politics with it.
So one of the expectations of the major opposition party from Nigeria is the fact that you should keep those in power on their toes. How many times have we seen people from the opposition party bringing out issues about things that are happening in Nigeria to keep the ruling party on their toes? The only thing we are saying is that people within the party are busy fighting themselves. And you ask, like, where are we headed? If this is what we are seeing within the political party, you cannot unify your party, you cannot even clear the issues you have, then how would you be able to solve the issue of Nigeria as a whole? I think as a political party, PDP needs to do a lot in terms of keeping the opposition party, like the ruling party, on their toes. And I like what Professor Ango Abdullahi of the Northern Elders Forum and Audu Ogbe of the Ariwa Consultative Forum did. They brought these people together, the presidential aspirants, and they asked them, we are the Northerners. What would you do if we elect you? Or why should we even elect you? The North, as a section, has its peculiarity in terms of problems. How do you hope to meet up with these challenges? Insecurity, education, health, electricity, how would you deal with it? And I think it's commendable. And I also appeal to other sections, the Indigbo or Middle Belt Forum. They should also invite these people. Yes, they should invite these presidential aspirants or candidates of the various parties and ask them, we have our peculiarity as a region. What do you hope to do? Why should I even vote you? Yes. Let's sit down with our pen and paper and write down what they are saying. If they fail, let's hold them. So that eventually, if anyone wins, you will hold him by what he is saying. And we'll continue to monitor that consultative forum, because more presidential aspirants are going to be speaking. It started with Atiku yesterday. We saw Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC and also Peter Obi of the Labour Party. I will continue to monitor other presidential candidates to see what they have to say.
Yes, sure. We'll beam our lights there and then bring it to our viewer. We are live on air on YouTube and Facebook. Do well to just send us your comment and what is happening around you. It is important, or you have something that you feel it is important you want us to talk about here. We just drop a comment. We'll do justice to that. And Joyce, now let's look at this particular regime. They are winding up. They have like less than 7 months. They are about to say bye-bye, finishing their two term, 8 years in power as APC. Can we say that these people have done well? Yes, it's a question that when you ask, people will start looking at you. There's a way people will look at you and they will give you one kind of smile, like, really, are you serious? You're asking this question. But before then, before the coming of this present regime, there's a campaign that went on. And then based on that campaign, there were promises. And I think that's the reason why we are emphasizing, because this is an electionary period that the politicians are coming to sell their agenda, their manifestos, and the rest. There was once a time that a particular manifesto or an agenda was sold to Nigeria and they buy into it. One of it, President Muhammadu Buhari, he promised to govern Nigeria, to govern Nigeria based on constitution. And then he promised to secure the country and officially manage the economy. He now said he will not tolerate religious or regional or ethnic or bias agenda in his government. He promised that the party will position the country like in a good perspective globally by policies. And then he promised that pregnant women, poor women, children will have access to quality healthcare. This is where we are, 8 years, like 7 years down the line.
In May, when this administration clocked 7 years, we saw how the spokesperson of this administration came out to say that so far, President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has satisfied the needs of Nigeria. And just yesterday, during the ministerial performance review retreat of this administration in Abuja, the president said he has met the yearnings and expectations of Nigeria. He said he has impacted the 9 priority agenda, like power. He has impacted that. He has impacted communication, digital economy, oil and gas. He said he has impacted national security, anti-graft war. In terms of corruption, he has impacted social investment, health and agriculture. I didn't see education though, so maybe he didn't, like, the effect was not felt in education, obviously. But the question is,
because if he talks about education already, ASU.
And then when he made this statement, he said that even he was able to strengthen and address national security. In attendance were participants, spokesperson, in fact, even the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, was also there, and he made that statement. He said he has employed about over 20,000 policemen between 2020 and 2021. He said our economy have grown. He said over 9 million pupils were being benefited from the social investment program. He spoke about how that aircrafts have been bought for our armed forces. And I asked, how many people in Ninga under Akwanga of Nasarawa State will say that they have felt the impact of electricity? How many people from Basa will say they have felt the impact of this aircraft that was bought? And they can come out and say, yeah, we were safe, nothing happened to us. How many pupils today on the streets can say that, yes, I've been fed well in school, that I didn't even go hungry at any point? How many of our students can come out today and say, oh, wow, beautiful education I have learned, both practical and theory. So under this administration in 2020, there was 10-month strike. In 2022, 8-month strike. ASU just called off its strike, but on the basis of what? Court's order. Like, can the average Nigeria on the streets tell you that, yes, this administration has met my yearnings? Far beyond the president coming out to say, oh, I've met the expectations of Nigeria, can the common man say, oh, we have beautiful roads, our roads are being well constructed? Like, when you walk down the street, when you travel, our roads are even dilapidated. What about our education? What about even primary health care? Can people in the village access primary health care? Beyond our leaders coming out to talk that this is what I've been able to do, can the average Nigeria come out and say, yes, I was able to feed 3 square meal. I was able to go to the market and afford a mudu of gari. I was able to buy bread. The price was low. With inflation as at September 20.77.
It's alarming. Well, you know, Nigerians, Joyce, I will assure you, Nigerians are really watching and they are waiting keenly, like they are seriously waiting. They are prepared for this 2023 election. What you said is just true. Can average Nigerian? Because the question is that when you talk Nigerians, who are the Nigerians? Are you talking about elite? Are you talking about your political class? You know, those that belong to your same political party. You know, people begin to ask questions. When you said that, you know, can an average man, you know, feel this impact of these promises that you talk? Because this is one of the government that is being accused of the highest nepotism, you know, in this country. You know, is one of the regime that was tagged the highest corrupt regime, you know, with indices here and there. You know, just look at the issue of NNPC. In his speech, you know, when canvassing for a vote, he said he will make sure that Nigerians know what NNPC is getting. But today we wake up that after 9 years, you know, that is when you are discovering that, you know, your main line for drilling crude oil is being tapped. For crying out loud.
750,000 barrels per day is what Nigeria lost.
Yes, that is almost 30 billion per month. And if you calculate per year, you know, times 12, it's like we are losing almost 12 or 11 billion. And this in this year's budget, we are borrowing how much?
More than half of our revenue.
I mean, trillion
to debt.
We are losing almost 12 trillion in a year, you know, or thereabout. And how much are we borrowing? This is just one angle of the oil theft that is being discovered, not all. So just look at it and look at what Nigerians are losing, and then you see this particular regime projecting herself and saying this is what we have done for the country. Okay, fine and good. If you have anything to say.
So the situation is painful, it's sad, and it needs to be fixed. And it's up to Nigerians to do that. As we look forward to 2023, like I will always say, nobody should be deceived that your vote will not count. Your vote will count. Let's preach this. Let everybody should get his voter's card. Protect it with all you can. We need to change the trajectory of impunity, of nepotic leaders, of bad leadership. Like, we need to return to the dreams of our founding fathers, of building a strong and egalitarian society where peace, justice, and fairness will reign.
Thank you, Joyce, for doing this with me.
It's my pleasure.
She have said it all. Just get your PVC, get ready. 2023, let's vote any bad leader out and bring out fresh leaders that we trust, that we hope that they will give us that new Nigeria of our dream. Thank you for watching. Keep watching Ekwa Television International. Bye for now.